Sri Sharda Devi and Her Divine Play, Chapter 17, page 266. Swami Sharadananda. Once, when the Master's disciples were young, Sharad said to Jogin, "I do not always understand what Naren means. He talks about many things. Whenever he speaks about something, he does it with such emphasis that all his other statements become practically meaningless." Jogin replied, "Let me tell you something, Sharad. You stick to mother. Whatever she says is right." When Swami Trigunatitananda left for America on 27th September 1902, Sharadananda took over responsibility for Holy Mother and continued serving her until she passed away in 1920. Many years earlier at Dakshineshwar, Ramakrishna one day sat upon Sharadananda's lap in an ecstatic mood. He later explained to the curious devotees, "I was testing to see how much weight he could bear." The young disciple passed his guru's test. In later years, despite his heavy responsibilities as General Secretary of the Ramakrishna Order, he took charge of Holy Mother's day-to-day affairs. Sharadananda often referred to himself as the gatekeeper of her Calcutta home. He took responsibility for the mother's food and lodging, looked after her health, managed her household, cared for her relatives, and handled her financial needs, directed her visitors and devotees, and arranged for her travels. He also built a home for her in Calcutta. While Holy Mother was in Jairambati, he sometimes travelled there to manage her finances or care for her when she was ill. He also settled the complicated problems of her family members and had a home built for her in Jairambati where she could move about freely. Like a dutiful and dependable son, Sharadananda tried his utmost to make Holy Mother happy and comfortable. To him, the mother came first, before everything else in this world. In fact, his life is a glowing example of complete dedication to service. Holy Mother once said, "I shall be able to live in Calcutta as long as Sharat is there. I do not see anyone who can be responsible for me after that. Sharat can in every respect. He is the man to bear my burden." Someone asked, "What about Swami Premananda?" "No, he can't do it. But he runs Belur Mutt." "That may be, but looking after women is a bother. He can only keep an eye on me from a distance." From 1902 to 1920, Sharadananda's life was intertwined with Holy Mother's. This period is recorded in detail in this book. But here we shall record some significant events that affected Sharadananda directly. When Sharadananda began looking after Holy Mother, he was upset that she had no place of her own in Calcutta or in Jairambati. In Calcutta, she lived either in a rented house or, when the disciples could not find a suitable house for her, in a devotee's home. She was very shy, so it was difficult to be a guest in a householder devotee's house and witness their family quarrels and frivolous activities, or join them in sickness and grief. Moreover, she suffered from malaria from time to time and could not bear the thought of becoming a burden to others. Regardless of whether she stayed with a devotee's family or in a rented house, it was inconvenient for her to be frequently changing lodgings. Realizing Holy Mother's uncomfortable situation, Sharadananda was determined to build a permanent home for her in Calcutta. In July 1906, Kedar Chandra Das donated a small piece of land on Gopal Niyogi Lane, Bagh Bazar, for building a publication house for Udbodhan, the official Bengali journal of the Ramakrishna order. Previously, the publication house was located in Girindralal Basak's house, but that devotee died in 1906. It was suggested that they build a tiled shed on the donated plot, but Sharadananda decided to build a brick house instead. His plan was to use the first floor for the publication office with a shrine to the master, and the second floor as living quarters for Holy Mother and her companions. Towards the end of 1907, depending on the master's grace, Sharadananda undertook responsibility for the building project. The publication fund had 2700 rupees, which was consumed by the construction of the building's foundation. Sharadananda borrowed a total of 5700 rupees from different devotees, but this was still not enough. Finally, some distinguished devotees came forward to fund the project. The building, known as Udbodhan House, had 10 rooms, 6 on the first floor, 3 on the second floor, and 1 on the third floor. By the end of 1908, the Udbodhan office had moved into its new house. Jai Ma.